Hello everyone, welcome to Adda 24/7 Officer Adda. Very welcome to all of you and good evening. My name is Suprabha and I'm your ABM mentor, right? So from the next week onwards, your ABM Module B and Module D classes is going to be started, right? Module B and Module D. These two classes are going to be start from the next week onwards in your English medium batch, right? So here when we are talking about the module B and module D, see the weightage is very high, especially for the module B. The weightage is very high, normally around 30 question usually come from module B, and this is a very scoring and very important module, right? So here when we are talking about module B, we will have some question from the module B itself, because in your paid batch module B is going to start from the next week onwards, right? So the first question is a very common question. The VUCA stands for, option A is volatility, uncertainty, combination, ambiguity. B is volatility, unknown, complexity and ambiguity. C is volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. D is variety, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. So which one is the right answer here? Tell me. Which one is the right answer? The number one, right? Or is it number two? Or is it number three? Tell me which one is the right answer. This is a question, very common question this is, right? From the VUCA part. So which one is the right answer? See, VUCA stands for what? VUCA stands for, that is volatility, right? That is uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. So this is the situation which arise in the crisis situation. So this is the crisis situation exactly, right? So at the time of the crisis, every organization, they have to face these four things. The number one is volatility, right? So what is the volatility? That is the rate for change. Okay, so in any crisis situation, right, what is the rate for change? So that is volatility. Number two is what? That is number two is, that is uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty means you are not clear about whatever happening around you. Complexity is everything is complex, everything is dependent upon each other, right? So that is complexity. And the last one is what? The last one is, that is ambiguity. That means you are not clear, right? What is the thing which you can do? So the answer here is, that is C, volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity. So in the June exam, this question was asked, right, in ABM, and now this time this question asked in the HR elective. So very important question it is, right? The next question is, which one is not the component of VUCA? Tell me what is the right answer. That is ambiguity, vulnerability, complexity and uncertainty, right? Which one is the right answer? Which one is not the, right, which one is not the VUCA component? So tell me which one is the right answer, right? Which one is the right answer? That is ambiguity, vulnerability, complexity or uncertainty. Which one is the right answer? See, when we are talking about the VUCA, I have already told you that this is the situation of, right, that is, this is the situation of which every organization faces when they are having some, right, when they are having some problematic situation. I mean, they are having some crisis situation, right? So that is VUCA component. So here the right answer is, that is vulnerability, because the VUCA full form is, That is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, right? The third question is, that is strategic HRM involved, right? Option A is planning, foresight, and analytical decision making. B is setting employment standard and policies. C is linking HR strategic objective to the improved performance, and D is all of the above. So which one is the right answer, right? When we are talking about the strategic HRM, that means we have to think from the all the angle. We have to do planning, we have to do the analytical decision making, we have to link the HR activity with the strategic objective, right? So which one is the right answer, tell me? Strategic HRM is all about, that is when you are, right, when you are dealing with the, right, business activity. So all the business activity, that all the HR activity should be aligned with your business activity, right? That is for sure. So what is the right answer here? That is all of the above. There are 9 critical competencies in the SHRM competency model. The number one is leadership and navigation, business acumen, relationship management, consultation, cultural effectiveness, communication, HR expertise, critical evaluation, and consultation. So these all 9 are the competencies, right, from the, right, from the SHRM, from the strategic HRM, right? So the next question is, which one is this question is asked in the December exam. What is the organization added role of HR manager? Option A is ODN consulting, B is selection and orientation, okay, C is retention and termination, and D is all of the above. So which one is the right answer? Which one is the, that is organization value added role? There are 3 type of role in the SHRM, right? The number one is traditional role, right? Number two is organization value added role, and number three is what? Number three is the transformational role. So which one is the right answer, tell me? What is the right answer here? Which one is the right answer? When we are talking about the, right, when we are talking about the, right, when we are talking about the strategic HRM, so which one is the right answer? See, this is the, you can see this, this is the HR role. The number one is core people role, number two is organization value added role, and number three is business transformation role. So number one is core people role, right? What is the meaning of core people role? The core people role are selection, orientation. That means it, these all are the basic role. ठीक है, basic HR role these are. So that is selection, orientation, motivation, career development, compensation, and all. What is the organization value added role? That is technology services, learning work environment, OD and consulting. Now what is the business transformation role? That is a flexible work culture, HR initiative, business strategies you are aligning, implementing organization change, ROI to assess the ROI. So these all are the some different role, right? So here the right answer is what? What is the organization value added role? There are, this is OD and consulting is the right answer, right? Next question is, the term group dynamic was coined by, right? You have to remember the scientist name also. You have to remember the management, whatever management guru is there, you have to remember their name, right? So what is the right answer? Tell me, which one is the right answer? See, when we are talking about the group dynamic, what is a group dynamic? That means how much comfortable you are in the group. That means how much interaction you are having in the group, right? When we are talking the group dynamic, that means that is how much comfortable you are in the group and what is the interaction you are having in the group, right? This is called the group dynamic. So this is the basically your interaction in the group, that how much team member are comfortable with each other, and this term is coined by the option A Kurt Lewin, B Krita, C Power Cotter, and D is Mark Schultz. So the right answer is that is Kurt Lewin. Kurt Lewin in 1860 he has given this term, that is group dynamic, right? The strategy evaluation means, what is the meaning of strategy evaluation? That is comparing cost, comparing HR, comparing time horizon, and comp that is company plan with actual. Compare the plan with the actual one, right? So what is a strategic evaluation means? Tell me what is the right answer, right? Which one is the right answer? See, when we are talking about the strategy evaluation, that means you are comparing the, ठीक है, you are comparing the standard versus actual, right? So whatever planning you have done in the strategic HRM or maybe the strategic management, you are comparing that planning, right? You are comparing that planning with the actual one, okay? So whatever planning you are having, you are comparing that planning to the actual one. So here the right answer is what? That is D, okay? Sorry, that is, one second, that is D, right? Now we are having the another question, right? The next question is, that is perception of human asset as higher risk investment is a barrier to HRM, SHRM, HRP or economy, right? So what is a perception of, okay, what is a perception of human asset as higher risk investment? See, when we are thinking that human asset is a higher risk investment, that means somehow you are not able to link the HR activity with the business activity, okay? So this is the barrier actually. SHRM we are talking about. Here the question, the primary resources of competitive advantage in the SHRM is, that is people, pattern, technology and process. Tell me which one is the right answer? Right? When we are talking about the strategic HRM, right? What is the right answer here? See, when we are talking about the primary competitive advantage, that means the answer is, that is people. We are talking about the people here. The SHRM develop an organization culture that foster innovation, flexibility, competitive advantage, or all of the above. Which one is the right answer? When we are talking about the SHRM, right? That means we are talking about the organization culture that foster. What is the right answer? Right? SHRM is what? SHRM is when we link the HR activity with the business activity, right? And it focus on, it foster the culture of innovation, it foster the culture of competitive advantage, it foster the culture of flexibility. So all of the above is the right answer. Next is SHR. SHRM is linkage between the HR strategy and option A is organization goal, corporate level strategy, policies, yeah, all of the above. Which one is the right answer? What is the right answer exactly? See, when we are talking about the SHRM, that means we are talking about to linking the HR activity with the corporate strategy or the business strategy. We have to link HR strategy with the business strategy.
Adda 24/7. We are in the Scholar series for ABM. Here we are covering important theory and objective questions for your ABM. So watch the series till the end. Okay, let's start. A bank calculates that its individual savings accounts are normally distributed with a mean of 2000 and a standard deviation of 600. If the bank takes a random sample of 100 accounts, what is the probability that the sample mean will lie below 1900? This is a bit difficult to understand. Everyone pay attention. Huh? Everyone pay attention because very important part. Let me draw the line over here. Very important part. Understand, for this you need to know this normal distribution curve. Let me show you. Suppose if this is the normal distribution curve, okay, this one. So what is given in this problem? And say this mean is given as 2000. So this mean means what? This mean always lies at the center. This is the mean, and this is known as population mean. Mu, this is called as mu. That is 2000 population mean. Always remember, what are we doing actually in this numerical? We are doing some sample over here, doing something on the sample, and then applying it to the entire entire population we are applying it. Okay, so this is the meaning, this is the problem actually, doing something on the sample and applying it to the population. Got it? Now what is it given? Normally distributed, that the savings accounts are normally distributed. What do you mean by normally? It means the population is normally distributed. It means that the bank is having some savings account. Let me show you over here only. See this. This is the population and this is the sample. So this population means for entire savings accounts of the bank. Savings accounts of the banks is the population. Now, do you know how many savings accounts are there? Have they mentioned it? That the bank has 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, something like this. Have they mentioned? Nothing. So it means what? This savings account becomes this becomes an infinite population. Infinite. Okay? It becomes an infinite population. Got it? Now, as it becomes an infinite population, the formula for standard error changes. Get this, huh? Formula for standard error changes. Now, always while solving this numerical, first step which you have to find out is whether this is finite or infinite population. Because if you have infinite population, then the formula for standard error, psi x dash, we write it. Okay, so standard error equals to standard deviation psi upon root of n. That is the formula for infinite. Okay, I'll write it. And if it is a finite population, means known population, 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, then it becomes what? Same, psi upon root of n. Psi means standard error, standard deviation. Standard deviation upon root of n into square root of capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1. This is for finite population. Okay. Now look at this. In the problem, whatever is given. What is given in the problem? Population is given as 2000. Okay, no, not population. Mean is given as 2000. See this. Mean is given as 2000 and standard deviation is given as 600. 600 for this population. So standard deviation means how much the answers deviate from this mu. So that is given as 600. Now what about the sample? In the sample they have given that the bank takes a random sample of 100. So 100 is the sample size. Small n is given as 100. Okay. Now have they given anything else now? Second part, what have they given? They have asked you probability of sample mean will lie below 1900. So what do you mean by below 1900? Look at this. This is 2000. This is mu is 2000. So on the left side will always be less than 2000. So 1900 will lie over here somewhere, right here. So what do we want? We want below 1900. 1900. So we want this area. below 1900. Okay, this area below 1900, this is the basic answer we require, this area we require. Now how to find out the area over here? Now for finding out the area, let me give you some hint. See this, in exam also they'll give you this normal distribution table. This table will be given to you, and now what have you to check? The upper figure over here, this figure is very important. If this figure is given as this way, it means what? It means it is starting from here, this point, to wherever you go, it's moving like this on the right side. If they give you the figure like this, and the red part over here, this red part over here is starting from here only, here only. If they give you like this, if this figure red part is like this, only this part, okay, then what does it mean? In that case, it means it is starting from 0.5. So when it starts from 0.5, the figures will be different, the answers will be different. So if they give you from this, the majority of chances you'll get it from in this, because this normal distribution table is used throughout the world, starting from 1, because this total area is called as 1. This total area is 1. Okay, this half area is 0.5. See here, I'll write it over here. This is 0.5 area complete, and this is 0.5 area. Okay, so now what have they given? They have given that we want it below 1900, so we want this area. So for finding this area, this means what? This is a probability. The answer which you get is a probability over here. For getting this probability, you need to find out the z value. Without z value, you can't get the probability. Without z value. Okay. So now look at this numerical. Firstly, what I have you to do is you have to find out the standard error first. Standard error is given as psi upon root of n, because this is an infinite population. So psi upon root of n. What is psi? Psi means standard deviation. Here it's given 600. 600 upon root of n, root of 100. So 600 upon root of 100. So what is the answer? Root of 100 is what? 10. So 600 upon 10, you are getting it as 60. So my standard error is 60 now. Clear? Simple. My standard error is 60. Now, up till now, everyone has understood this. Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it. Has everyone understood this? Yeah. Okay. Done. Now what we do, the next formula which we get is Z. How to find out the Z? See, this Z formula is like this. Z equals to 1 upon psi x bar. This psi x bar means standard error into, now look at this, x bar minus mu. Now what is psi x bar? Psi x bar means this, right now what you have got. So 1 upon 60 into, what is this x bar? X bar means what is asked. Here, what is asked over here? 1900. This is x bar. This is x bar. Okay, so it will be 1900 minus what is mu? Mu is given, just now we saw it, 2000, right? So minus 2000. So do it now. 1900 minus 2000, I think so. Are you able to see this? Let me see. Yeah, you are able to see this. Okay, so I'll draw a line over here now so that I won't write anything over here. So now, so do it. Ignore the signs here. It is minus 100 upon 60. So ignore it. Minus sign is okay. You will take this as modulus. Okay. So it is 100 upon 60. So what is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. Everyone. What is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. 100 divided by 60. So the answer which you get is 1.66. 1.66. Okay, 1.66. So this is what Z you are getting. This is the answer which you are getting is of Z over here. Everyone, see, I'll explain this numerical 2 times, because what happens, many of the students are asking me to repeat it. See, I'm seeing in the comment section. I'll explain it, don't worry. I'll explain it again. Okay. So Z equals to 1.66. Now what do you do now? See here, up to Z, have you got it? Repeat it. See here, repeat it. I'll repeat it fast now. See here, what we do, this numerical will be given to you in exam. So your first target is find the difference, this sample and population. Find everything between, divide between this. So first find the population. Population is what? Do you know finite or infinite? It is infinite, right? Infinite. Keep it simple. Infinite. Once you get it infinite, immediately apply what? The standard error formula. And write down the values, whatever are given. For population, the value is given as mu. Mu is given as 2000. This one. Then standard deviation, we write it psi like this, psi. Psi is given as 600. Then on sample side, what is given? N, small n. Sample size is given 100. Then what is given about the sample mean? What about the sample mean? You don't know. So we'll call this as x bar. X bar is given as 1900. So these are the four values you are having. Whenever you get such a problem, you firstly divide it into these four parts. Then apply the formula for psi. Psi x bar, this. Psi x bar, psi upon root of n. If it's a infinite population, apply this, psi upon root of n. 600 upon 10. 600 is psi, standard deviation, root of n, root of 100. So 10, so 60. You got it, psi x bar. So this is known as standard error. Standard error, okay. Now once you get this standard error, what you do next is find the z value. What is the z value? Z value equals to 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. This formula you have to rectify, learn by heart. 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. Okay. Now all the values you are having. 1 upon psi x bar you are having, psi x bar is 60. X bar you are having 1900. Mu you are having 2000. Okay. So now do it. 1900 minus 2000, that is minus 100. Ignore the plus minus sign. So take it plus only. And this 60. So 100 upon 60 is 1.66. Up till now over here, got it now, everyone. Now using this z value, we have to find out the probability. Now this table will be given to you in exam. And in this probability distribution table, remember, you have to check what this image is given. If this image is given from the starting, then it means your complete area of 1 is to be taken. This complete area of 1, complete area is known as 1. So if it is given, then you will be taking this complete area of 1. If it is given, this red mark is given only from half, okay, then you have to take only half. You have to take it from 0.5. Do all the calculations using 0.5. Now what am I saying? I'll explain you. Let's find out this z value first. Let me expand this. What was that z value? 1.66. So first find out z. See here, z is like this. How do you divide this z? Divide this z like this. 1.6, 1.66. So make it two parts. 1.6 over here and 6 over here. So this 6 will be checked in horizontal. This 1.6 will be checked in vertical. Now go forward. So vertical now. 1.6 first. 1.6 over here. And then other 6 is over here. See this 6. Match this 0.06 and 1.6 over here. It is coming to 0.9515. Look at this. Everyone is getting this 0.9515. Let me see how many of you are getting these answers here. Okay. Now, those who have not heard, kindly give me the answer for 1.66. 1.6 and 0.6. So give me the answer. It is in the comment section. Everyone in the comment section. It is 0.9515. Got it? This is 0.9515. Look at this. 0.9515. Everyone got this? Clear? 0.9515. So my probability over here is, now look at this. This is not your answer, but probability equals to 0.9515. Okay, but this is not your answer. Look at this. What do we want? Yeah. So now what do I want? My probability value is, probability equals to 0.9515. Okay. But do I want this 0.9515? No. Why? Because what am I getting? I want it below this area. And what is it given over here? It means when now you'll have to search. Now you'll have to think. This area of 0.9515 means from here. Okay. And I wanted what? Below this, from starting up to 1900. So this area 1900. So this 0.9515 area means this area. This complete area. Okay. So which area is it covering? And I want, remember, below 1900. So I wanted on the left side. This area only I wanted. This on the left side of this line. I want that. Because I want below 1900. If I would have required above 1900, then I would have required this area. But I want below 1900. So I require this area, this part. So when I require this part, and what have I got? 0.9515 is the answer which I've got. It means what? It means this area only I've got it. So my answer over here is luckily the same, 0.9515, because I'm counting it from the left side and I've got the area of the left side only. So that's why my area, my probability over here is 0.9515. If they would have asked you that, give me the area for above 1900, then what would have you done? Above 1900, okay? Now let me show you that also. Above 1900, what would you have done? See here, this total area is 1. Now look at this, everyone. This total area is 1, right? Out of this, 0.9515 is below 1700 over here. Let's say, because this is 1 means 95% you are covering. So this all area is below 1900. Okay. Now if they would have asked me that I want this above 1900. So this total area is 1 minus 0.9515. 0.9515. If they would have asked me this area, then this would have been my question mark and this would have been my answer. But now they have asked me what? They have asked me below 1900. So I am wanting this area only. So my answer is correct over here. Luckily it is 0.9515 only. Okay. Got it, everyone? This is the way this numerical is to be solved. Not that simple. It's really difficult. You have to understand this probability distribution table correctly. And for that you need to join the classes. Okay. Yeah, paid classes. Because there I am teaching you all these numericals again and again, many times. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting number 1, free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB, all. And whatever is free, you should grab it, isn't it? So that's why subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon immediately. Okay? Share it with your friends. Now some theory part. An interval estimate. Now this is regarding the estimation chapter. An interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. What do you mean by this? See here, you want this population parameter. Always remember this parameter word is always attached to population. And for statistic sample, it is which word is attached? Who can give me the answer? Comment section. For sample, which word is attached? The word attached is statistic. Always remember statistic. For sample, statistic word is attached, and for population, parameter word is attached. So interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. It indicates the error in two ways. The extent of its range means how far can this go. Means what? Suppose if I tell you today's India's score will be what? Suppose if I ask you this question. Suppose let's say there are matches going on now. India is, let's say, playing, and I ask you in 50 overs, or now let's say 2020. In 20 overs, what will be India's score? If I ask you this question, then what does it mean? Can you give me the exact score? In 20 overs, India will score 197. You can't give me. What will you give me? You'll give me a range around, India will score around 170 to 200. So this is known as range. Extent of its range. Now if I give you, tomorrow I'll give you this range. India will score, I think so, 0 to 500. Within this range it will definitely score. You'll say what a foolishness it is, right? Because if I'm telling you 0 to 500, definitely it will be between 0 to 500. So the answer should be somewhat logical. by the extent of its range. So range is important over here. Extent of its range. Okay. So what range are we talking of? That is important. Got it? So that's why say this extent of its range and by the probability of its true population parameter lying within that range. So within that range, if I give you this range at 0 to 500, definitely India will score between 0 to 500. But if I give you the range like India will score between 470 to 500. Now this is the accurate range. So my answer will lie somewhere in between. If it lies, then I'm accurate. If my answer doesn't lie over here, it lies somewhere in 100 only, then I'm far beyond this range, right? So extent of its range and the probability of the true population parameter lying within that range. So actually the answer should lie within this range. Okay. So that is a good interval estimate. A sample statistic is used to estimate the population parameter is known as estimator. This sample statistic is known as estimator. Okay. Means whatever statistic we are using, mean, mode, median. What is the statistic? Statistic can be many things. I'll give you simple ones. Mean, mode, median. Right? These are all statistics. That is used to estimate a population parameter is called as estimator. The sample mean X can be estimator, an estimator of the population mean P. And the sample proportion can be used as an estimator of the population proportion. So it mean X sample mean can be used as the estimator and the sample proportion can be used to estimate the population parameter. So what does it mean? I'm using this mean, calculating this mean from the samples and using it for population. We can also use the sample range to estimate the population range series, and in this series we are covering all the important numericals, objective questions, case studies, one-liners. Okay, so follow this series completely from start. Okay, it's available on YouTube on the Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. So subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's start. See here, today we'll be solving some numericals as well as some one-liners. So let's start with this first one. Let's see here. The USD INR rate is 48.10 and pound to USD rate is 1, only 1. What is the rate of pound to INR? Now first tell me what is this chain rule, which rule will we use over here? The rule which will be using is, see here, whenever we want some rate which is not given, is pound to INR rate given? What is pound? Pound means we call it GBP. GBP. I don't call it GBP. Great Britain pound. Is there anything great about Great Britain now? We are bigger economy than that Britain now, UK, right? India is a bigger economy than UK. Then what's great about it? I'll just call it pound. Okay? Yeah. So USD to INR rate is 48.10 and pound to USD rate is 1. What is the rate for this pound to INR rate? Now the question over here is will be using the which rule? Type in the comment section. It is called as chain rule. Chain, correct? What is the chain rule? Chain rule is pound. It's written as like this: pound to INR. We want it rupee, right? So pound. You had this in JIB, no? How many of you remember? You had this in JIB. Type yes in the comment section if you remember this. Yeah, it is. Pound to dollar will bring in a common currency over here. Pound to dollar. See here, we want pound to rupee. So pound to dollar into dollar to rupee. Right? In the comment section, everyone type the answer now. See this pound to dollar. Do we have pound to dollar? See this pound to USD given 1. So it is 1 into dollar to rupees. What is the dollar to rupees rate given? 48.10. 48.10. So what is the answer? Same 48.10. Say this D, isn't it? D is the answer, right? So this is called as chain rule. Always remember while solving any forex, the important part which is which remains in CAIIB is after you get this rate, you have to either add or subtract the margin. Add or subtract depending on the transaction. Add or subtract the margin. Which exchange margin? Remember this is up in JIB you had the problem up to this much only. In CIB, you have the exchange margin also. So this exchange margin, you have to either add or subtract it. Now, how will you decide whether to add or subtract? You will decide it based on the basis of, suppose if you are selling, suppose if you are doing sale means what? When will you sell? You will sell it in import transaction. Suppose if you are doing the import transaction or sale, right, then you will be adding the exchange margin, add. Okay, it's not asked in this problem, but in exam they'll definitely ask you. They'll ask you some margin like TT margin is, let's say they'll ask you 0.15%. Now find the rate. TT margin is 0.15%. So what will you do? This rate which you get, now you'll first find out the TT margin, 48.10 into 0.15%. This is what you'll have to find it out. Okay. So multiply this. Okay, let me solve this problem only now, right? Because in CIB you get higher level problems. These problems you get it. So 48.10, what is the answer you are getting? Into 0.15%. Percent means divided by 100. So it will be 0.0015. So what is the answer you are getting, guys? What is the margin which is what is the margin you are getting in rupees? So 48.10 into 0.0015. See this, 0015. Okay. So this answer, type in the comment section. What are you getting it over here? In the comment section, it is 0.072. Now what will you do with this margin? This is your margin in figure. This was in percentage. Now it is in numericals. Okay, number. So what will you do in this problem? So what is it given? USD INR rate is given, pound. What is the rate you will be taking? So it's not given whether it's a buy or sell. So let's assume it's a import transaction. Import. Okay, import. Right. So you'll sell it over here. In exam they'll be giving clearly import or export. So import means sell. So you'll have to add this. So what will be your final rate? It will be 48 point. Add this 48.10 plus 48.072. Add this, everyone. Answer which you will be getting is 48.1. Then what? 172. This is the final answer you will be getting if exchange margin is given. If not given, then 48.10. That's simple. Okay. Clear, everyone? Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it. Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it. Okay. Chalo, next one. USD INR rate is 48.10 and JPY USD JPY rate is this much. It is point over here, 91.50. What is the rate of INR to JPY? Now again, see here. What are you doing? You are again using the chain rule. Calculate the rate for 100 JPY. Say this, 100 JPY means always JPY is calculated in terms of hundreds only. We never get the rate for 1 JPY and then keep it as it is because it's very small. But for getting this 100 JPY, we need to get first 1 JPY rate. So again use the chain rule. We want INR to JPY. Look at this, INR to JPY. Here JPY is below, right? So INR to JPY. So what is my INR to JPY? Rupee to JPY, right? JPY. Yen is written as like this. Yen and two lines. Okay. Rupee to JPY equals to. So you'll get it what? Rupee to. I think so. It should be JPY to INR. Okay. Because we never get this. India never follows this indirect rate system. Let me make the change because you should get it JPY to INR. You'll never get it JPY INR to JPY. Okay. Because we never follow the indirect rate system. We follow the direct rate system. What is direct rate system? In direct rate system, rupee is always moving and other currency is constant. So India follows that system. Okay. So JPY to INR it will be, I'll write it simple. So JPY to INR equals to JPY to rupee, JPY to dollar into INR to, dollar to INR, right? Dollar to INR. So now what all do you have? JPY to dollar do you have? See here, you have USD to JPY, 91.50. So dollar to JPY you are having. Now you want JPY to dollar. So you'll just reverse this. So it is 1 upon 91.50. See this, it's reversed, right? Because it's dollar to JPY and we want JPY to dollar into dollar to INR. It is 48.10. Now take the answer. Now the answer will be, everyone do it. 48.10 upon 91.50. What is it? What is the answer you're getting? 48.1 upon 91.5, right? 91.5. Oh, did I write 8? 91.5. Okay. So it is 0.5256. 0. I'll write it below. Okay. So 0.5256, right? So this is 1 JPY to INR. 1 JPY to INR. But what is asked over here? They've asked 100. So 100, multiply this by 100. So 100 JPY to INR equals to, multiply this by 100, 52.56. 52.56. So this much is the answer. So 100 JPY equals to 52.56 rupees. Remember, what does this mean? You must understand this first. 100 JPY equals to 52.56 rupees. Okay. So what does it mean? Rupees stronger than JPY. If I ask you, okay, let me ask you this question. 100 JPY equals to 52 INR, let's say. Forget this 0.56. Now tell me, who is stronger? JPY is stronger or rupees stronger? 100 JPY equals to 52 rupees. So who is stronger? Rupee is stronger, correct. Rupee is stronger in the comment section. Rupee is stronger, correct. But remember now, it doesn't mean if any currency is stronger, like rupee is stronger over here, but does it mean India is more developed than Japan? No. We are the 5th largest economy. Japan is almost the 3rd largest economy now. Third or fourth. Germany and Japan, they both are in this fight. We are planning to surpass them in the next 3 years. Both of them. So that's why remember, even though Japan is having the lower currency, then also Japan is a bigger economy than India. Okay. So the answer is what? 52.56. Which is the nearest one? 56. See this one, D. D is the nearest answer. Okay. 52.56. No, 53. Sorry. 52.40. Take this. Okay. In exam, they won't give you such closest answers. Okay. 52.40, 52.80. They'll never give you the answers like this. One will be 52.40, second will be 55 something. Okay. There'll be a huge difference. So you'll be able to immediately identify, because these points hardly make any difference. Okay. So got the answer, everyone? Clear the concept? Shall I move on? Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it, and we shall move on. Okay. Next one. When the exchange rate is fixed by the monetary authority of a country, it is called as by the monetary authority. Remember, monetary authority means RBI. RBI fixes it. Nothing doing. Dollar to rupee rate is today 79, so 79 only. There is no fluctuation, no demand, no supply, nothing. So when the exchange rate is fixed by this monetary authority, it is called as what? Direct, indirect, floating, or fixed? It is fixed rate, correct? It's fixed rate. In where do we have this fixed rate? Do we follow in India this fixed rate system? What do we follow in India? Do we follow fixed rate system, everyone? What do you say? We never follow fixed rate system. We follow floating rate system. Floating means, see, two things you always remember. In India, we always follow, one is direct rate system and second is floating rate system. Direct means rupee is fluctuating, dollar is constant. Okay. And floating means it depends on the demand and supply. Then in which country is this fixed then? Which country says it's fixed? Fixed rate. Fixed rate is hardly in any country now, but then also North Korea, you have this fixed rate system. And there are some minor countries, okay? Even China, I'll tell you, China is also, it's a quasi-fixed. I mean, they are following fake system. I'll tell you, fake. Why? Because they say they are following floating rate system. Means floating rate means what? It depends on demand and supply. Demand and supply, okay? But what happens? The Chinese government interferes heavily in this yuan. Their currency is yuan. Y-U-A-N, yuan. They have two currencies. One is yuan, second is renminbi. We don't hear about this renminbi many times. We hear about yuan. Both are equivalent only. One yuan equals to one renminbi. That's what I'm saying. They are playing the gimmicks over there. We are not going into that geopolitical issue now. But government or the central authority interferes in this and reduces the rate whenever they want, increases the rate whenever they want. They have done this in last 5-6 years. They have done it one night automatically, means one day suddenly the Chinese bank decided that reduce the yuan rate by 7%. Who, why, when, don't know. So this is known as fixed rate, means quasi fixed rate. Okay. The, some other countries, like I gave you North Korea, there are some other minor one countries are there. Bernodi, no, what is that called as? Some biggest country, oil producer, that is having the fixed rate. Forget it. Important is the government interferes over here. Okay. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting the latest updates from IIBF, for JIB and CIB. Whatever IIBF gives, this change, that change, portion change, timing change, venue change, you'll get it over here. Okay. Second thing, you'll get the free YouTube series. Right now, what are you watching? You're watching the same free YouTube series. So you'll be getting all the free YouTube series on all the subjects. So subscribe to it, click on the bell icon, click on the like button, share it with your friends. Okay. Okay. When the exchange rate is fixed by the market demand and supply position, it is called as, just now we discussed, right? Market demand and supply. So it will be called as what? Freely. It is called as indirect. No, sorry. Floating, isn't it? Floating rate. India follows this demand and supply. RBI never interferes in India in this rate. Okay. It never interferes directly. There are two ways of interfering. One is direct here. As a CIB student, you must understand this. Interference, okay, can be done in two ways. One is direct and second is indirect. Okay. Direct means what? Direct means RBI says from today the dollar to INR rate is dollar to rupee rate. Okay, is XYZ. Let's say 85. That's it. Nothing doing, nobody can change it. This is known as fixed. What is indirect? Indirect means what? Here, it depends on demand and supply, but RBI interferes it indirectly. Means what? If the dollar rate is going too high, then RBI will, means there is a less supply of dollars. So RBI will sell the dollar. So that is allowed. Indirect interference is allowed in all the countries. Even USA we do it, UK it does, it is done, India it is done. Any country, indirect interference is allowed, because that is the job of RBI, right? If your dollar rate goes very high or very low, it immediately affects the your inflation position. So that's why indirect interference is clearly allowed. Direct interference is not allowed. Okay. The term bid rate stands for, bid means what? We have this bid offer, right? Bid means what? Your bid, and second is offer. So what is this? Direct, indirect, buying, selling. Always remember, bid is equal to, let me get it from you. Bid is equal to, what is it? Comment section. Let me see in the comment section. Bid stands for, bid means I am bidding. Give me. Aja, yeah. So that is buying rate. Okay, bid equals to buy, and offer means sale, right? Sale. Okay. The selling rate of a foreign currency offered by a bank is called as share. Selling rate of a foreign currency offered by a bank. Offer rate, bid rate, floating rate, fixed rate. Name itself, naam hi kafi hai. Offered, and it is offer rate, right? Sale. You can call it sell rate. Okay. Sell this side. Always on the left side it is buy, and right side it is left side it is buy, right side it is sell. Okay. Everyone download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. In this app, you will be getting the premium study material plus live classes, ebooks, tests. You'll be getting it. Okay, so download it right now and start studying. Country risk is an example of market risk, credit risk, operational risk, and liquidity risk. Country risk, remember. Okay. When the exchange rate is fixed by the market demand and supply position, it is called as, just now we discussed, right? Market demand and supply. So it will be called as what? Freely. It is called as indirect. No, sorry. Floating, isn't it? Floating rate. India follows this demand and supply. RBI never interferes in India in this rate. Okay. It never interferes directly. There are two ways of interfering. One is direct here. As a CIB student, you must understand this. Interference, okay, can be done in two ways. One is direct and second is indirect. Okay. Direct means what? Direct means RBI says from today the dollar to INR rate is dollar to rupee rate. Okay, is XYZ. Let's say 85. That's it. Nothing doing, nobody can change it. This is known as fixed. What is indirect? Indirect means what? Here, it depends on demand and supply, but RBI interferes it indirectly. Means what? If the dollar rate is going too high, then RBI will mean there is a less supply of dollars. So RBI will sell the dollar. So that is allowed. Indirect interference is allowed in all the countries. Even USA we do it, UK it does, it is done, India it is done. Any country indirect interference is allowed because that is the job of RBI, right? If your dollar rate goes very high or very low, it immediately affects the your inflation position. So that's why indirect interference is clearly allowed. Direct interference is not allowed. Okay. The term bid rate stands for, bid means what? We have this bid offer, right? Bid means what? Your bid, and second is offer. So what is this? Direct, indirect, buying, selling. Always remember, bid is equal to, let me get it from you. Bid is equal to, what is it? Comment section. Let me see in the comment section. Bid stands for, bid means I am bidding. Give me. Aja, yeah. So that is buying rate. Okay, bid equals to buy, and offer means sale, right? Sale. Okay. The selling rate of a foreign currency offered by a bank is called as here. Selling rate of a foreign currency offered by a bank. Offer rate, bid rate, floating rate, fixed rate. Name itself. Naam hi kafi hai. Offered. And it is offer rate. Right? Sale. You can call it sell rate. Okay. Sell. This side. Always on the left side it is buy. And right side it is left side it is buy, right side it is sell. Okay. Everyone download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. In this app, you will be getting the premium study material plus live classes, ebooks, tests. You'll be getting it. Okay, so download it right now and start studying. Country risk is an example of market risk, credit risk, operational risk, and liquidity risk. Country risk, remember. Country risk is an example of market, credit, operational, liquidity. Okay, let me give it to you. Credit. Credit risk is always of two types. Remember this. Okay. One is country and second is counterparty. Counterparty risk. Okay. So country risk means country is in the problem and counterparty means country is good but your party is bad. Okay. Now what does it mean? Country is in the problem means, I'll give you example. Afghanistan. Country is in the problem. Pakistan. Country is in the problem. Right. Sri Lanka. Country is in the problem. Counterparty. USA. Country is good but your party is bad. Not paying you. Okay. So this is the country risk is the part of credit risk. Got it? Credit risk. All of the following types of risk of price risk are price risk except. So all of the following are price risk except commodity price, exchange rate, stock price, counterparty. Just now we saw it, counterparty, isn't it? All these are price, commodity price going up and down, exchange rate, price going up or down, stock price going up or down, counterparty. Just now we saw it. See this, credit risk. So counterparty is a part of credit risk, right? So this is except, we want except, okay? So that's why this is the answer, except. In the financial market, bond prices and yields are, so prices and yields Bond prices and yields will always be what? Inversely related directly in this you added in your JIB also. Inversely, directly, inversely or directly depending on the type of the bond. So it is. Now this you should get it from your it's a basic knowledge now. Okay. So let me see how many of you can answer this. Everyone. Yeah. Do it fast. Yeah, it is. Inversely, obviously, isn't it? Inversely. Prices and yields are inversely related always. How to join this here? I've just now told you join this Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel, right? How to join this? Scan this QR code, okay? This blue is for Telegram, this black is for YouTube, and this another one is for Instagram. Join it immediately. Why? Because on all these channels, we are giving the free YouTube sessions. Then question banks, you are getting free question banks, questions, free tests. Again, latest updates, various things, various puzzles, various quizzes, you get it for CIB and JIB. So scan it right now. Just pause this video, scan it and do it. Okay? Chalo, next one. Rate of cancellation of original export contracts. Here, original export. So export contract is always for what? Just now we told in the first problem, whenever we have export, we have export. Export we have export. Export will always be buy, right? Buy or bid. Forget it. Keep it simple, buy. Okay. So if export is at buy, then I have to cancel it. So cancelling will be opposite. What is the opposite of buy? It will be sell. So cancellation will be sell. So firstly, I'll use this sell. So forget this buying. So these two are out. Oh, sorry, not these two. Which are out? This is out and this is out. So these two are remaining. TT selling and bill selling. Now which one? TT selling or bill selling? What do you say? Which one is the right answer then? Over here. Cancelling. You are cancelling the rate. Cancelling is always done at TT. Always remember. Booking is done at a bill rate. Okay. So that is the answer. Booking, rate of booking a new import contract for next 1 month. After 1 month. Okay. So it is. Now import. Import means what? Buy or sell. Just now we saw export. Export was buy. So this will be sell. So buy is out. Out. Now TT selling or bill selling. Next 1 month. See here, TT is always used for spot transactions. Right now. I have to cancel the transaction right now. Okay. But next month means 1 month risk you are taking. So whenever you take the risk, it is called as TT selling or bill selling. Bill selling, correct? So that is the answer. Okay. Clear everyone? Got a concept? So let's start with the simulation exercises. Simulation, remember, it is the easiest chapter in your complete ABM. But even though it is easiest, don't take it lightly because there are certain questions related to the simulation exercises which are asked. So focus on them very properly. Let's start. Which of the following statement regarding the simulation is correct? So now you have to find out whichever is correct. Always remember in exam, you have to focus on what is asked, whether correct is asked or wrong is asked. If they want wrong, then you have to click on correct and the wrong one. Okay. So what is the one? Let's see. First one. Simulation is a way of studying effects of changes in the real world through models. So is simulation the same? B. Simulation is the imitation of some real thing or the process. C. In simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior, and all of the above. Now, firstly, understand what is simulation. Simulation means, suppose when you're, have you seen simulation anywhere? Whenever you go to, let's say, any new construction flat, suppose if you want to buy a new flat, whenever you go to buy a new flat, the building is not ready at all many times. They just show you some prototype, some model which they prepare. So what is that model? That model is a smaller image or smaller 3D image of what the real building will be, right? So this is basically the simulation. Similarly, in simulation, whenever you go for admission in any college, what do you do? Do you go and check this college practically? No, you check on the prospectus. What is that? That is a sort of simulation. It will give you the image of that college, right? So that is simulation. So now which of the following are correct over here? Which of the following statements are correct? Yeah, they are. Number one. Yeah. Which of them are correct? Simulation is a way of studying effects of changes in the real world through models. That is correct. Simulation is the imitation of some real thing or the process. So that is also correct. In simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior. This is the most important one. Okay, because here we try to imitate a system or environment. Actually, we try to, in finance also, we use the simulation. We see various scenarios, and based on those scenarios, we create the various effects of those scenarios. Okay, so in simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior and all of the above. So the correct answer is D, all of the above. Okay, everyone answer in the comment section. Acting out or mimicking an actual or probable real life situation or event to find the cause of the past occurrence or to forecast the future effects of the assumed circumstances or factors is called as, what is this? This is on the similar lines of that earlier question, isn't it? Acting out of mimicking an actual or probable real life situation. What did we say about this simulation? Same thing, isn't it? To find out the past occurrence. Past occurrence means what had happened in the past, or to forecast the future effects. Now, this means that considering the various scenario analysis or factors is called as simulation, linear programming, probability, regression. Now look at this. Simulation you might have guessed the answer by now. Type in the comment section. Linear programming. Programming is altogether a separate chapter. In LPP, what do? We study various linear equations. We try to bring everything into the linear equations and then we try to study them. Probability is totally different. There are three types of probabilities, right? Bernoulli, this binomial and Poisson. These are the three main probabilities for your CAIIB. Kindly follow the this probability lecture also. Regression and correlation, again different chapters. Regression and correlation are related to two elements, the relationship between the two elements. So this mimicking an actual probable real life situation, what can be the answer for this? The answer is simple, isn't it? Let me see in the comment section. It is A, right? Got it? Simulation can be used to, means why do we use the simulation? To find causes of the past occurrences only. To forecast the future effects of any occurrence only, means only this. Find the causes of the past occurrence and to forecast the future effects of an occurrence. Neither to find out the causes of past occurrence nor to forecast the future effects of any occurrence. Now obviously D is not the answer. Okay, neither is not the answer. Now only you will get confused over here whether to type A or B or C. Again you will get confused between B and C because A also past occurrence only, that is not the right answer. So you will get confused between B and C. Now type in the comment section, let me see. Okay, let me see everyone. The answer is, yeah, is it B or C? The answer is C, correct? The answer is C. because it is used for past also as well as to forecast the future also, right? So that C is the answer. Simulation is appropriate where? Now look at the options. Where? Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. Complexity of the problem makes the use of other techniques difficult or impossible. Problem is impossible to be solved. So where do we use the simulation? In which case? Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. Means what? Suppose imagine I have to this do some changes in my software, banking software. If I have to bring totally new software, so is it possible for me without testing just to bring the whole software new, and one night I'll bring the whole software new in the bank and tell everyone to operate on it? It's not possible, right? That will create a chaos. That is the meaning of this first sentence. Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. I can't implement the software, new software in a bank because without telling anyone or without doing the testing. So doing the testing is known as simulation. In simulation, what do we do whenever we test the software? We create a dummy environment, right? And in that dummy environment, we do all the checkings, correct? Complexity of a problem makes the use of other techniques difficult or impossible. That is also a point. See here, important part over here is size. Second is complexity also, because finance is the most complex field in this world, right? Because complexity. Suppose again come back to the same example. Suppose if you go for this software changing the software. So that is so complex. There are so many fields in the banking, retail, corporate, then we have mutual funds, third party products, then contingent liabilities like LCs, bank guarantees. So that's why these are just the four which I have told you. There are almost 7 to 8 fields. So these fields make it difficult for change of software at abruptly. Problem is impossible to be solved. Is there any problem which is impossible to be solved? Now you answer. Is the answer A to 3 all? B, A and B, 1 and 2 only? C, 1 and 3 only? And D, 2 and 3 only? So what can be the answer for this? Everyone? Yeah, answer is correct. Type in the comment sections. Yes, the answer is this B, 1 and 2 only. Because 3 can't be the answer. You can't have any problem in finance which is impossible to be solved. Okay. Simulation can be used, number 1, with traditional statistical techniques, with traditional management techniques, without the traditional statistical techniques, without the traditional management techniques. Now this is a bit easy to understand, isn't it? With traditional statistical techniques, with traditional management techniques. So it can be used with both of them. Without traditional statistical techniques. So do I understand this here? Can be used with traditional statistical techniques means what? Are the statistical techniques in my regular working required to be added or to be supplemented by simulation? Or is simulation required to be supplemented by my traditional techniques? Can simulation work without my traditional statistical techniques. Can simulation work without my traditional management techniques? So which one is correct? Only one is correct. Only two is correct. 1 and 2 are correct. And 3 and 4 are correct. Which one is correct over here? Now this is a bit tricky one. Because if you get such question in exam, you will definitely get tricked over here. Okay. Now think and type in the comment section. Let me see. Okay. I'm seeing the correct answers are here. It is this 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are correct. Because remember in finance nothing is independent. Nothing is independent. You have to always use everything in connection with the other one. So traditional statistical techniques, traditional management techniques, these are to be used in connection, in togetherness with simulation. You can't have anything individually working over here. Okay. So 1 and 2 both are correct. In which of the following simulation can be applied? So where can the simulation be applied? Air traffic control, queuing, and aircraft maintenance, assembly line scheduling and inventory reorder design, railroad operations and facility layout, and all of the above. Simulation means what? What did we study about simulation now? Simulation was basically this mimicking the actual life situation in the form of a prototype. So where can you use this? You can use in all of these. Air trafficking control, you can use it. Assembly line scheduling, you can use it. Railroad operations, you can use it. So answer is D, all of the above, right? Now some theory, last part of this topic, theory, forecasting technique. Now forecasting technique, there are two methods. Auto-regressive, three methods, not two. Auto-regressive, then moving average, and last one is ARMA, combination. So what is auto-regressive? In auto-regressive model, we forecast the variable of interest using linear combination of the past values of the variable. Look at this, linear combination, okay? Remember this word which I have highlighted. In exam, auto-regressive model will have this word linear combination. The term autoregressive indicates that a regression of the variable against itself, against itself, okay? The AR part involves regression of the variable on its own lagged values. So lagged means what? Past values. These two sentences are same, against itself and lagged values, okay? MA means what? Moving average. In this time series analysis, moving average, also known as moving average process, used for modeling univariate time series. See, this univariate word will be there in moving average. It involves modeling error term as a linear combination of error terms occurring contemporaneously. Means what? What is this contemporaneously? So big word. This is latest one, latest. Whichever is the latest will get the highest weightage and various times of the period. So from exam point of view, remember auto-regressive means linear combination and own lagged. Moving average means what? Univariate, and if they give you this word contemporaneously, then it is MA. And now it's a combination, ARMA. Third one, ARMA model or auto-regressive moving average model. ARMA model describes a time series in terms of two polynomials. Remember, again underlined words, two polynomials. The first of these polynomials is auto-regression and the second is moving average. So it's a combination. The model is a combination of AR and MA model. In this model, the impact of previous lags and residuals are considered to forecast the future values of the time series. Okay, future values. So it is a combination of this, and previous and residuals are used to give the future values. Now these are in the short I have given. Auto regressive, previous time steps, and next this uses observations from previous time steps as input to the regression equation to predict the next time step. Moving average MA states that the next observation is a mean of every past observation. Autoregressive model uses the time series data to either better understand the data set or to predict the future values. So importantly, what you remember, these earlier two slides are very important from the exam point of view. AR is linear and own lagged. Moving average is univariate and contemporaneously. Then ARMA model is combination of these two. Okay. So and this line is important. Impact of previous lags and residuals are considered. Okay, previous lags and residuals both. Now the last, which I was telling, why do we have this x multiply by 2? Okay, now this slide, let me check if I am having it over here. Why do we have to multiply this x by 2 over here? Okay, let me see. I had prepared one slide for this. Let me see if I am having it. No. One second. It's not there. Okay, I'll tell you. Why do we multiply with this? Forget this slide. Okay, what is there difficulty in it? See here. The problem over here is, why do we multiply this by 2? Because look at this. X, whenever we have even numbers, even. Okay, what was the x values? Minus 1.5, something like this. It was in points. So whenever it is in points, it's difficult to calculate. In points, it is very difficult to do the calculations. So if I multiply by 2, then what happens? 1.5 becomes 3. So now this is easy. And that's why we multiply by this x by 2. Whenever we have even number of elements, we multiply this x by 2. Why? Because taking the x values, even if you take the same value without multiplying, then also it won't make much difference. But the problem is that the difficulty level in calculations on the calci also, checking the point and doing the calculations is difficult part. So if you have even simple natural numbers, it's very easy to calculate. Okay, so that was the reason why we multiply this x by 2. Okay, so that was the topic. We'll stop over here now. Okay, so follow the series completely. Okay, let's start.
Firstly, sampling distribution. What is sampling distribution? You must understand that first. Sampling distribution is a process used in the statistical analysis in which the predetermined number of observations are taken from the larger population. Now, important word over here is predetermined number of observations. Remember this by heart. What happens? I must know how many samples I have to take. If I don't know that, then it would be of no use for me doing some sampling. I'll go on doing the samples. How many numbers I don't know. I'll take 500, then 1000, then 1 lakh. It won't end. So we must first decide where I have to stop. So predetermined number of observations are taken from the larger population. The methodology used to sample from a larger population depends on the type of analysis being performed. Now understand this. Methodology means what? Here it means what type of sampling should I do. There we come with the topics of these random sampling, all the various types of sampling. I'll take them. Okay. So got it? Firstly, the concept. Okay. Okay. Now for a few things you need to understand. Sampling. Now suppose if I tell you to take some tea. Okay. I'll give you a cup of tea and ask you whether it's hot or not. What will you do? Will you take the whole cup of tea and drink it immediately to check whether it's hot or not? No. What will you do? You'll just take a sip of the tea. Sip, right? Hot. So if that sip is hot, it means the whole cup is hot, right? The whole tea is hot. That's the basic logic of sampling. I'll select those samples which will be indicative of the full population. Suppose if this is a city of 1 lakh, okay? Complete 1 lakh. If I do the sampling of whole 1 lakh, it is called a census. Understand the word. Census means when I do the sampling of each and every person. But when I'm doing sampling as such, sampling word, when I'm doing the sampling or survey, there I'll take the samples and I'll do the survey of those samples. I won't do the survey of all the population. Okay, got it? Simple. This is what the concept is here. You need to understand the concept first. Okay. Now look at this. Some important points over here. There are two parts. One is population and second is samples. Here, as I've showed you over here, this full circle is known as the population. 1 lakh people. And the samples which I take are known as, these points are known as samples. So this is the population as a whole, and then we have sample. Now what are the terminologies used for the population and the sample? Look at it. Okay. Definition of population: collection of all items, full population. Suppose 1 lakh persons, as I told you over here. 1 lakh is the population of a city. So if I do the full population or survey of full population, it will be called as what? Then it will be called as census. And this is known as population. So it includes collection of all items. And here, part of the population, some part. Okay. What are the characteristics? Suppose if I take the mean mode of population, it is called as parameter. Suppose if I take the mean mode of sample, it is called as statistic. See here, mean, standard deviation of population is known as parameter. Mean, standard deviation of sample is known as statistic. We have various other statistics and these parameters. Mean, mode, median, all these are parameters as well as the statistics. Okay. Now how they are defined? Look at this. Size is always given as capital N is always for population. Small n is always for sample. Mean of population is shown as mu. Mu. Remember, this is called as mu. And mean of sample is always shown as x bar. This you will see it when I will take the problems. Okay. There it's very important. Standard deviation is given as psi. This is called as psi. And here standard deviation is called as psi. But I'll tell you one more thing over here. Whenever I am taking anything for the sample, it is generally called as standard error. Remember this. If I have standard deviation for population, for my sample I have standard error. Okay. And we generally write it. You will see this when I solve the numerical. Psi dash. Okay. Psi dash. Okay. Now what are bias samples? Bias means what? Here we always say, no, this person is biased. My boss is biased. This is a general statement given by us, right? Boss is biased towards some employees. Right? You have seen this? Suppose the parliament is debating on the women's bill. You are asked to conduct an opinion survey. Because women are most affected by the women's bill, you interviewed many women in different cities and towns and rural areas of India. Then you report that the overwhelming 95% are in favor of the reservation of the women's bill. Now that is the bias sampling. If you ask only women about the women's bill, they'll definitely support it. Generally, that's a tendency. Okay. So that's the basic bias sample. So in here, what do we mean to say is that the population should be equally divided. If you are asking for those who are in favor, you should also ask for those who are not in favor. Okay. Otherwise, it becomes a bias sample. Now look at this. This sampling is of generally 3 types. 3 or 2 also we call it. Probability, purposive, and third is no rule sampling. Now no rule is generally not asked in exam. Probability and purposive is asked many times. Purposive is also called as non-probability. It is also called as judgmental. Here, I'll write the words over here. Okay. It is non-probability also they call it. Non-probability. I'll just write non-prob. Okay. And next one is judgmental. Judgmental. Okay. That is also the another name to purposive. Now, probability samplings are of 4 types. Simple random, systematic, stratified, and cluster. Now we'll study each one in detail, but before going ahead, I'll just give you the short idea about this simple random and all those. Okay. Understand one simple logic of probability. Probability sampling means that sampling in which every element has got an equal chance of getting selected. Equal chance. Okay. So every person, every individual, every sample will have equal chance. Now it is of 4 types. Suppose if I say in a class of 50 students, any 10 students, that becomes simple random. If I say every 5th student, means what? I'll tell them to stand in the row. I don't know. I'll close my eyes. I won't tell who will stand where. I'll close my eyes and tell them stand in the row, and every 5th student come out. So that is all. That is known as systematic. Suppose if I divide that class of 50 students into marks, those who have got 40 to 50% stand here, 50 to 60 stand here, 60 to 70 stand here, and so on. So that will be called as stratified. I am creating strata, I am creating levels over here. Okay. And last one is cluster. Suppose if I tell them, those who are from Maharashtra stand here, those who are from Delhi stand here, those who are from Tamil Nadu stand here, those who are from this any state stand here. Okay. So this is generally cluster. Cluster is generally related to region. Okay. Now one important point I'll give you over here only, stratified and cluster. Within the same strata, they have similar qualities. Means what? 70 to 80% student, the student who is having the range of 70 to 80 will think similarly. They'll think similar to each other. Versus students who are having the marks 70 to 80 and the marks of 40 to 50. Their ranges will be different. Thinking ability will be different. So that's what is meant by stratified. 40 to 50% student will always think of passing. 80 to 90 will always think of scoring. So within the same strata, they'll have similar qualities. Within different strata, different qualities. Reverse is the case with cluster. Within the same cluster, there is a huge variety. Now somebody is from Goa. So in Goa also there will be a student of 80 to 90%. There will be a student of 40 to 50%, right? So within the same cluster, there is huge variety. It's exactly opposite of this stratified. Within different clusters may have similar qualities. Different clusters may have similar. Means what? Goa will also have some student who is 40 to 50 and MP will also have some students who is 40 to 50. UP will also have that, right? So within different clusters, we may have the students of similar categories. That's what is the difference between stratified and cluster. This question comes every time in the exam. Okay. Now, more about this non-probability. See this. I'll tell you later also. I'm having a separate slide on this. Convenience sampling, consecutive sampling, quota sampling, purposive sampling or judgmental, and snowball sampling. I'll give you a separate slide on this now only. Okay. And then we'll study each one. Now simple random, we'll go in details now for probability because that's very important. Simple random sampling selects the samples by methods that allow each possible sample to have an equal probability of being picked and each item in the entire population to be included. Means what? Each possible sample to have of having equal probability. Means what? Just now I told you, any 10 students from the class of 100 students, any 10. So everyone has got a chance. So that's what is meant by simple random sampling. Each possible sample, see this, each possible sample will have equal chance. Very important part over here. Okay. I'll mark this. Hold on. Each possible sample, this one, has an equal probability of being picked. Okay. And each item in the entire population to be included in the sample. Correct? Now let's look at this for simple random sampling. Suppose if I give you this example, there are 4 teenagers A, B, C, D. Any boys, you, anyone we can consider. Now I have to select a group of 2. How will I select? Group of 2 can be selected in these ways: AB, AC, AD, BC, BD and CD. This is the only way which I can select, right? This you are having a separate topic of probability. There we'll study this again. Okay. So these are the groups I have selected. Now the question over here is probability of drawing these samples of 2 people is same as below. So means what? Suppose if the probability of selecting any 2, this BC or BD or AC, I close my eyes and I tell them to stand in these groups. And what happens? I close my eyes and select any group. Then what is the chance? Suppose if I want to select BC. Out of these 6, BC can be selected in only one way. So look at this. Probability of BC is 1 by 6. Similarly, others. CD can be selected in only one way. So if you want to select the group, the probability is 1 by 6. Now look at this. This is separate. Suppose if in this group I make them to stand in group of 2s, and what is the probability that I'll select A in this? Any group which I select, what is the probability that I'll select A? Single person. Now look at this. A can be selected in how many ways? AB, AC, AD. In all these A's there. So A can be selected in 3 ways, right? 1, 2 and 3. 3 groups. Out of how many? So 3 divided by 6. Now look at this. Very important part. This becomes a technical part. Okay. So A can be selected in 3 ways. 3 ways upon total 6. So 3 upon 6 is 1 by 2. So here comes the answer of 1 by 2. This typically is related to probability required upon sample size. Means success. I'll write it over here. Probabilities formula is like this. Success upon sample size, SS. Okay. We'll study this when we study probability. If you want to write A, B, C or D on 4 identical slips of paper. Now here comes the next topic of this within the same random sampling only. The next topic which comes is sampling without replacement and with replacement. Now this common sense you can understand it. Without means what? I'll take 4 papers, 4 chits A, B, C and D. Okay. And slip of papers, fold the papers, randomly pick any 2. Suppose if I select any 2. And then what do? While picking up 2 slips, we may pick 1 by 1 and keep it away. Pick another from the remaining 3. Now remaining 3, what does it mean? Once I pick one, I won't keep it again. So that's known as without replacement. And the second thing is with replacement. Suppose if I pick this slip D, okay, see the name in this and again put it inside that same jar. So then it will be called as what? With replacement. Don't we have this? We have seen this many times, right? With and without. Whenever I take any slip, I don't put it back in that box or whatever it is, right? So that is without. And this is with. We use the term infinite population now because this infinite population term is asked in the exam. When we are talking about a population that could not be enumerated in reasonable time period. Now what do you mean by this? Infinite means, what do you mean by infinite? Suppose if I say 1 lakh population, even I can call that also infinite. I say 1 crore population, I can call that also infinite. Although it is countable. Infinite, what is the real meaning of infinite? Which cannot be counted. But if I say 1, I'll tell you, okay, tomorrow I'll tell you. You go and count the entire population of the city, wherever you live. Is it possible? That becomes infinite for you within reasonable period of time. Okay. So it cannot be determined within reasonable period of time. Right. Thus we use theoretical concept of infinite population as an approximation of a large finite population. Approximation of large finite. Got it? If my population is too used to be done in a survey. So, okay, I'll give you one more example in this. I'll tell you what you do. You do the survey of 1 lakh people in 2 days. 1 lakh people in 2 days survey. Go and ask each one. It's not possible. That's a reasonable period. So that becomes an infinite population for that 1 lakh people for that 2 days. But if I ask you the separate question, now same 1 lakh population, I'll tell you to do the survey in, let's say, 10 years. 1 lakh in 10 years. Then it doesn't become an infinite population because there the time period is huge. That's the logic. Okay. So there is nothing called as absolute infinite or finite over here. Okay. Systematic sampling. In the systematic sampling, elements are selected from the population at a consistent level that is measured in time, order or space. Now consistent level, what do you mean by this? Just now I told you when I gave you that separate this slide I showed you. every fifth student in the class of 60 students, every fifth student will stand in the row and every fifth student will come out. So that's known as systematic sampling. So consistent, okay. Systematic sampling differs from simple random sampling that in each element, in that each element has equal chance of being selected, but each sample does not have an equal chance of being selected. Now, this is a problem with systematic. And this question comes in exam as a complete the following for 1 mark. Systematic sampling differs from simple random sampling that each element has got an equal chance, because I don't know which element will stand on the fifth of this means whenever I tell them to stand in the row, who will be standing fifth? I don't know. So that means each element has got an equal chance, but each sample does not have, because the one who will be standing fourth, he will not get selected. So each sample does not have an equal chance in systematic sampling. In systematic sampling, there is a probability of introducing an error into the sampling process. The system chosen may cause a problem. Now, these are all the complete the following questions or match the following questions. They'll give you systematic sampling. Then on the other side, they'll give you the probability of introducing an error. This is what is an important part in the systematic sampling. Remember this from the match the following or theoretical part. Okay. Advantage. This method may require less time and sometimes results in lower cost than simple random sample method. Right? Because systematic sampling, obviously we are not telling all the 60 students to stand and select randomly. We are telling every 10th or every 5th. So it means it will give me a fair chance and it will be fast over here. Okay. Stratified sampling. To use stratified sampling, we divide the population into relatively homogeneous groups called as strata. Now, what do you mean by this homogeneous? When we divided those students 40 to 50%, 50 to 60%, right? We did it just now. 40 to 50, 50 to 60. So what were we doing? What did I tell you at that time? Suppose somebody has got a percentage of 40 to 50. They will think in a similar way. But the one who has got a percentage between 90 to 100, the thinking of these two persons, these two groups will be totally different. But within the groups, they will always think similar. So this is known as homogeneous. Thus, when we use the following of the two approaches. So first, we'll divide them into separate strata. Then either we select at random from each stratum a specified number of elements. Means specified means what? I may tell that from 90 to 100 we'll select 5 students. From 40 to 50 we'll select 10 students. So I might have already decided. That's why come back to the first definition of that sampling distribution, predetermined. Okay. I'll say 90 to 100 I want 5 students, 40 to 50 I want 6 students, 50 to 60 I want 10 students. It will be determination from my side. That is one way out. And second way out is we draw equal number of elements from each stratum and give weight to the results according to the stratum's proportion in the total population. Okay. So I can draw specified number from each separate group, or I can draw equal number. Every group 40 to 55, 50 to 65, 60 to 75 and so on. So equal number or specified number. When to use stratified sampling? When do you use this? Stratified sampling is used is an appropriate when the population is already divided into different sizes. Means already I have divided 40 to 50% marks, 50 to 60 I have divided. Then stratified sampling is useful. Okay. Example, middle class, upper class, lower middle class. So I have divided this already. So then stratified sampling is of use. According to age, race, gender or any other stratification, age groups may be 13 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and so on. Right? The advantages of stratified sampling are that when they are properly designed, they more accurately reflect the characteristic of the population from which they are chosen than any other kind of sample. So basically it is correct. Suppose if I choose 20 to 30 age group. So that thinking will give me the correct picture. Suppose if I want to design a jeans, okay, jeans pant. So which group thinks in what way? For that I have to divide it into various age groups, and then I'll get the real answer. So that is that there the stratified sampling will be of best use. Cluster. We divide the population into groups or clusters and then select a random sample of these clusters. So first we'll divide them into these groups or clusters. What did I say earlier? It is similar to that of that regional geography based Goa, MP, UP. We assume that these individual clusters are representative of the population as a whole. Now, how do we do this? Now, this again, you'll get this. What did I say earlier? Goa, MP, UP. We take a city map and divide the territory into blocks, right? So, instead of city, I can take India map complete and divide it into various states. So, it means again we are coming to geographical distribution and then choose a certain number of blocks for interviewing. Out of this, I'll choose which state should I interview the best or which area should I interview the best. Every household in each of these blocks would be interviewed, right? Comparison of stratified and cluster. Already I have given you. We use stratified sampling when each group has a small variation within itself, right? Stratified 40 to 50%, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. But there is a wide variation between the groups, right? 42% thinking, 40 to 50 thinking differently than 80 to 90, right? We use cluster sampling in the opposite case. When there is considerable variation within the group, Goa, MP, UP, but groups are essentially similar. Means in Goa also I am having 80 to 90%, in UP also I am having, in Tamil Nadu also having, everywhere, right? Basis of statistical inference. Simple random sampling, systematic sampling, systematic sampling and stratified sampling and cluster sampling. So basically systematic, stratified and cluster sampling, okay, attempt to approximate simple random sampling. So understand this concept. This concept is, let me cancel this part is a heading. Okay, yeah. So systematic sampling, stratified sampling and cluster sampling attempt to approximate simple random sampling. This is an exam question. In exam they will ask you systematic sampling, stratified sampling and cluster sampling will attempt to approximate dash, and then the answer will be simple random sampling. Remember, these are the practical questions asked in the exam. The process of making statistical inferences is based on the principles of random sampling. Very importantly, remember, simple random sampling is the best sampling available in throughout the world. All these systematic, stratified cluster are taken later. They are an approximation. Now I'll come to the second part. This was all that probability. Now this is non-probability. Now what is this? Let's see. Purposive sampling, also known as judgmental, selective or subjective sampling, is a form of non-probability sampling in which the researchers rely on their own judgment when choosing the members of the population to participate in the survey. So this is all judgmental. Suppose we see in that what TV shows, singing competition, dancing competition, what Naj Baliye, right? All those are there. No? What do we see in that? There are judges. Judges have their own judgment. They are the learned person. So, in form of non-probability sampling, where the researchers rely on their own judgment, own knowledge. So, this is judgmental sampling. Non-probability sampling is a branch of sample selection that uses non-random ways to select group of people to participate in the research. Non-random ways, okay? It's based on the judgment, simply, completely on the judgment. Now some other samplings, and these are also judgmental only. Snowball sampling is a non-probability sampling method where new units are recruited by other units in form of to form the part of the survey. So this snowball is asked every time in the exam, every time. This is similar to that of MLM, multi-level marketing. You know that, na? You say you do one person, then that person will do three persons, those three will do again three, goes on and on and on, right? So that is the same way. Where new units are recruited by other units to form the part of the sample. Second is convenience sampling. Convenience is the cheater. Cheater. Who is the cheater? Is a non-probability sampling method where units are selected for inclusion on the sample because they are easiest for the researcher to access. What do I mean by this? Suppose if you tell me to do the survey of 15 persons in the city, 15 persons, and what do? I sit at my home. On who will go, man? Who is near me? Neighbors. Bring all my 15 neighbors and my family members. So that's convenience. Okay, because they are easiest for the researcher to access. Quota is a non-probability sampling method that relies on the non-random selection of predetermined number of proportion of units. Okay, so non-random selection of predetermined number. Predetermined. Quota means what? Mumbai 100, this Delhi 100, this what UP 100. So quota means what? A quota is given to everywhere. Consecutive. This is a sincere guy. Sincere. This guy is a cheater. Convenience. And this is a sincere guy. It's very similar to convenience sampling, except it seeks to include all accessible subjects as a part of the sample, which sometimes are considered as the best type of non-probability sampling. So this guy won't stay at home. He will go to each and every accessible part. 15 people, I'll go to one corner, then other corner, and then I'll select the 15 samples from there. So this is consecutive. Sincere guy. Okay.
वेलकम टू ऑफिसर अड्डा 24/7। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है ऑफिसर अड्डा के ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल पर। मैं सुप्रभा, आप लोगों की एबीएम मेंटोर। यहाँ पर आज हम करेंगे कुछ क्वेश्चन मॉड्यूल बी से, क्योंकि पेड में भी अभी आपका मॉड्यूल बी ही चल रहा है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे मैं आपका मॉड्यूल बी से कुछ क्वेश्चंस लेने वाली हूँ। राइट, चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं क्विकली। ठीक है, यहाँ पे देखिए पहला क्वेश्चन क्या है। What are the 3 stages involved in the counseling process as self-defined by the superior in the context of an employee performance review? ठीक है, ऑप्शन ए क्या है यहाँ पे? आइडेंटिफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम, सजेस्टिंग सॉल्यूशन टू द एम्प्लॉय एंड मॉनिटरिंग द एम्प्लॉय। ठीक है, बी है सेटिंग परफॉर्मेंस टारगेट, एनालाइजिंग परफॉर्मेंस डेटा एंड प्रोवाइडिंग फीडबैक। सी है यहाँ पे रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द प्रॉब्लम और इशू, असिस्टिंग द एम्प्लॉय टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम एंड एड्रेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम। और डी है यहाँ पे कंडक्टिंग अप्रेजल इंटरव्यू, सेटिंग इम्प्रूवमेंट गोल एंड डॉक्यूमेंटिंग द काउंसलिंग सेशन। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे बात हो रही है काउंसलिंग प्रोसेस की। अब देखिए किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एम्प्लॉय के परफॉर्मेंस को रिव्यू करने के लिए, ठीक है, काउंसलिंग जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होती है। ठीक है, काउंसलिंग क्या होती है? बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होती है। राइट, तो यहाँ पे एक्चुअली क्या होता है काउंसलिंग में, सबसे पहले हम क्या करते हैं? सबसे पहले हम प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं। ठीक है, सबसे पहले, और फिर उसके बाद हम सॉल्यूशन सजेस्ट करते हैं एंड देन मॉनिटर करते हैं। ठीक है, ए इज द राइट आंसर। What is the primary approach that organization in the Indian culture adopt toward handling average or below average performer? ठीक है, अब देखिए एवरेज जो परफॉर्मर होते हैं वो तीन टाइप के होते हैं। राइट, किसी भी अगर हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की बात करें, एक होता है टॉप परफॉर्मर, ठीक है, और एक होता है आपका एवरेज परफॉर्मर, और एक होता है आपका बिलो एवरेज परफॉर्मर। ठीक है ना, तीनों टाइप के परफॉर्मर होते हैं। तो नॉर्मली इसमें क्या होता है कि जो परफॉर्मर आपका एवरेज होता है, ठीक है, और बिलो एवरेज होता है, उससे कहीं ना कहीं हम कंपैरिजन करते हैं। ठीक है, राइट, उसे हम क्या करते हैं? कंपैरिजन करते हैं। राइट, देखिए इसमें आपका क्या है? पहला ऑप्शन है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन in the Indian culture prefer to implement technology to help average performer cope with the new challenges. B option है organization in the Indian culture usually adopt a drastic approach of removing एवरेज परफॉर्मर फ्रॉम देयर जॉब। सी क्या है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन दी इंडियन कल्चर प्रोवाइड स्पेशल स्किल अपग्रेडेशन ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम टू इम्प्रूव द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ एवरेज परफॉर्मर। ठीक है, और डी है यहाँ पे, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द इंडियन कल्चर टेंड टू रिटेन एवरेज परफॉर्मर इन जॉब दैट बेस्ट सूट देम इफ दे हैव एक्सेप्टेबल परफॉर्मेंस डिवोशन एंड लॉयल्टी। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम बात करें इनमें से कौन सी प्राइमरी अप्रोच है जिसे हम यूज करते हैं फॉर हैंडलिंग दी एवरेज एंड बिलो एवरेज परफॉर्मेंस। ठीक है, ऑप्शन ए जैसे आपने देखा कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द इंडियन कल्चर प्रिफर टू इम्प्लीमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी टू हेल्प एवरेज परफॉर्मर कोप अप विद द न्यू चैलेंजेस। ठीक है, बी क्या है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द इंडियन कल्चर यूजुअली अडॉप्ट अ ड्रास्टिक अप्रोच ऑफ रिमूविंग एवरेज परफॉर्मर फ्रॉम देयर जॉब। सी क्या है यहाँ पे, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द इंडियन कल्चर प्रोवाइड स्पेशल स्किल अपग्रेडेशन ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम टू इम्प्रूव द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ एवरेज परफॉर्मर। और डी है यहाँ पे, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द इंडियन कल्चर टेंड टू रिटेन एवरेज परफॉर्मर इन द जॉब दैट बेस्ट सूट देम इफ दे हैव एक्सेप्टेबल परफॉर्मेंस डिवोशन एंड लॉयल्टी। ठीक है, बताइए यहाँ पे क्या राइट आंसर होगा। रिमूव हम कभी भी नहीं करते। ठीक है, ये तो बिल्कुल ही गलत है। राइट, अब बताइए बाकी के, यहाँ पे मैं एलिमिनेशन से आपको बता सकती हूँ कौन सा आंसर है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपका राइट आंसर है दैट इज डी। ठीक है, रिटेन करना चाहिए। प्राइमरी डिफरेंस क्या है, टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज में एंड बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसीज में। ठीक है, यहाँ पे दोनों में अगर हम बात करें टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज की एंड बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसीज की, तो दोनों में जो है वो डिफरेंस क्या है। ठीक है, ऑप्शन ए क्या है यहाँ पे, ऑप्शन ए देखिए, टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी रिलेट टू कॉम्प्लेक्स टास्क वाइल बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसी रिलेट टू सिंपलर टास्क। बी है, टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज रिलेटेड टू हार्ड स्किल्स वाइल बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसीज रिलेटेड टू सॉफ्ट स्किल। सी क्या है, टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज इन्वॉल्व प्रोसेस एंड प्रोसीजर while behavioral competencies involve problem solving and decision making। और डी क्या है यहाँ पे, टेक्निकल competencies is easier to observe while behavioral competency is harder to identify and describe। so what is the right answer? इनमें से बताइए कौन सा आपका राइट आंसर है। सो व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर। देखिए यहाँ पर हम बात करें टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज की। टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज क्या होती हैं, जैसे आपकी जो हार्ड स्किल्स है, हार्ड स्किल्स मतलब जैसे कोडिंग है, ठीक है, इस तरीके की मतलब टेक्निकल स्किल। जबकि बिहेवियरल कैसे होती है आपकी, सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स, ये सब आपकी बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसीज में आती है। ठीक है, तो कॉम्पिटेंसीज जो है ये आपकी दो टाइप की होती है, एक होती है टेक्निकल और एक होती है बिहेवियरल। ठीक है, तो जितनी भी टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज है ये आपकी हार्ड स्किल्स कहलाती है और जितनी भी बिहेवियरल कॉम्पिटेंसीज है ये आपकी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स कहलाती है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आंसर है बी। अगला देखिए, इनमें से कॉम्पिटेंसी मैपिंग की डेफिनेशन क्या है। ए ऑप्शन है यहाँ पे, अ मेथड टू इवेलुएट द वीकनेस ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड इट्स वर्कर। बी है, द प्रोसेस ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइंग अ पर्सन job skills and strength in areas like teamwork। C है, a technique to assess an organizational financial performance and profitability। और D है यहाँ पे, the process of assigning job role based on the seniority within an organization। ठीक है, so tell me which one is the right answer। So what is the meaning of competency? Competency meaning is actually that is your skills, that is your knowledge। ठीक है, that is how you perform your job। right? So basically that is what, right? So what is the deviation of that? Right? So what is the meaning of that? See, the answer of this one is, what is the meaning of competency mapping? Option A is a method to evaluate the weakness of an organization and its worker. B is the process of identifying a person's job, skill, and strength in areas like teamwork. C is a technique to assess an organization's financial performance and profitability. And D is the process of assigning job role based on the seniority within the organization. Okay, so that is actually the B, process of identifying person job skill and strength areas in a teamwork. Okay, in an assessment center, which essential element ensure that assessor have the comprehensive understanding of the candidate behavior by combining input from multiple observer and resolving any disparity in the evaluation process, right? So option A is multiple assessment technique, B is multiple assessor, C is pooling of information, and the D is design of exercise. So tell me which one is the right answer? Okay. So what is the right answer actually? The right answer here is, in an assessment center, which essential element ensure that assessor have a comprehensive understanding of a candidate behavior by combining input from multiple observer and resolving any disparity in the evaluation process, right? So option A is multiple assessment technique, B is multiple assessor, pooling of information, and design of exercise. So what is the right answer? Right? So that is actually the multiple assessment. Next is, in an assessment center, which type of psychometric test is most appropriate for evaluating an individual's problem solving and logical skill? Is it aptitude, ability, personality, or intelligence? Tell me which one is the right answer. Right? See, the here the answer is, in the assessment center, which type of test, that is aptitude test, we normally use. Sorry, personality test that we normally use to identify the person's problem solving and the logical reasoning skills. Right? So all the viewers, if you want to join the batch, then please join. Right? We have the Adda 24/7 batch here. Right? that is Adda 24/7, right? And this is the category of GIB and CIB. Then we have the CIB, that is Mahapack 2.0, right? Then we have the resolution batch here, and here you have to go by, that is, right, buy now, right? So this is the resolution batch which started from the 10th of January. So buy now, you have to click on the buy now. Then Y666, this code you need to apply, and 80% discount are going on, plus coins also you can use. The validity is 6 months. Okay, but double validity is going on actually on the Mahapack. Okay, so if you want to join the Mahapack, then definitely the double validity is going on. So you have to click on, that is CIB Mahapack 2.0, then buy now by 666, then you need to apply, and the price is 80% plus coin also you can use it, right? So this is the benefit of CIB Mahapack, right? By 666, this code you can apply.